Hey guys, so we're on part D of this stem and leaf plot. We're supposed to be drawing a histogram. So the bottom is this left side, the 70s, 80s, 90s, 100, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then this right side is how we're going to draw how high our bars are. Okay. So first, this first class that has the 7 in it, how many numbers after it are there? There's just 2. As in there's 2 70s. So you're going to draw your 70 bar too high. Yeah. So that's too high. You don't have to put the 2 on top of it. That was just for you. Okay, for the 80s, let's see how many 80 numbers there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go 5 high. Okay, then for the next one, for the 90s, there's just 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if we look at the list of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 90s. So that's a bar slightly below that. Then for the 10s, we only have 2 numbers. So that's too high. For 11s, we don't have anything, so no bar there at all. And then for the 12s, we have too high. So to figure out how high these bars are, it's however many numbers on the list. Like in the 90s, there were 1, 2, 4 numbers. So we go 4 high. Woo! Okay, let's go to the next sucker. It's the same thing, only instead of giving us this little T-chart with the stem and leaf, we have to make one. Okay, so it says on the right are the amounts to the nearest $10 paid by 20 college students for textbooks during the fall term. Completes part A through C. Part A says draw an ordered stem and leaf plot to illustrate the data. 2 bar 3 represents 230. So this time the 2 is the hundreds and the 3 is the 30s, like the 10 spot. Okay, so let's make a T-chart. On the left is going to be the hundreds. On the right is going to be the tens. Okay, so let's see, what's my lowest 100? It looks like my lowest hundreds are these 200s. Okay, so now we're going to write their tens in order. So let me definitely put a 2 for 200. Then what's the smallest 200? Oh, it's a 210? Okay, so we're just going to write a 1 because here it tells us that 3 represents 30, as in you don't have to write the 0. Okay, let's keep going. We did the 210. What's the next to biggest 200? 230, so put a 3. Then 250, so a 5. There's 2 280s, so you put 2 8s, and then a 29. Okay, now let's look at the 300s. We got a 310, 330, 350, 390, 390. Okay, we're going to write those 10s smallest to biggest. So I see a 310, that's the smallest, so we put a 1. The 30, we put a 3. The 50, we put a 5. And the 90s, there's 2 of those, so we put 2 9s. And again, the reason we don't have to put the zeros is because this key tells us that 2 bar 3 means 230, as in the 3 is the 30. Okay, let's keep going. The next sucker says 400s. So let's find our 400s. 400. Alright, now write their 10s, smallest to biggest. Well, it's the same thing, 50. But remember, we don't write 50 because that key leaves off the 0. And there's 2 450s, so we got to put 2 5s. Okay, let's keep going. Next, 500s. Okay, there's 3 of them. And their tens, smallest to biggest, are 510, then a 30, then an 80. 510, a 30, and an 80. Lastly, we look at these 600s. And there's a 610, 30, 50, and another 10. So let's put those smallest to biggest. There's 2 tens, so 2 ones, and then a 30, and then a 50. Hey, there we go. There's our stem and leaf plot. Okay, now it says construct a group frequency table for the data. Okay, that means just make another T-chart, and this left side is still going to describe the hundreds, and the right side is going to describe kind of like a tally, like how many numbers are in this interval. Okay, so this first line describes the hundreds, like 200 all the way to 210. Yay. And how many numbers are in between 200 to 210? Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My bad, this isn't 200 to 210. Yeah, it is. My bad. I'm on. Wait. 219. My bad, this isn't 200 to 210. This is from 200 up until the next interval, and the next interval is 3, as in 300. So the numbers from 200 all the way up until the next interval, 300, are 200 to 299. So we need to write numbers that describe all the 200s. So this is 200 to 299. Okay, so how many numbers are in this 200 to 299? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then the next interval is 300 to 399. And how many numbers are inside there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is called a frequency table. On the left, we have intervals. On the right, we have the frequency, or how many numbers I see over here on this right. Okay, the next interval would be the 400s. So 400 to 499. Then the next would be 500s to 599. Then the next would be 600s to 699. Okay, well, how many numbers came from this 400 area? There were 2, 450 and 450. So 2. Then for 5, we had 1, 2, 3. For 6, we had 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that is the frequency table. It's basically the tally of how many times something happens. Okay, part C says draw a histogram. Well, it's pretty much, we've kind of already drawn that. Our first bar is going to cover the 200s. The second bar is going to cover the 300s. Then the 400s. Then the 500, this just says 500 with an S after it. Your homework might have it look a little bit different, but I think you'll still understand. Okay, the up and down is how many times we see these right-hand numbers. And it looks like they go from 2 to 6.